Hi, welcome back. Sorry about that. We've gone on for about 15 minutes there, so I'm hoping that you know um, you can actually get through this. Okay, so let's go. Let's just basically explain what I've done here. All right, what I've done is essentially I've looked for that bottom, and I've placed this as my first of my wave counts. Um, right, waves. So some of these might actually be wrong, but I'm still trying to work out based on the moves down. So if we take this Fibonacci tool and put it to there, you can see that where the market came down to 61.8%, and it did try to bounce off once it hit it here. Let's see if I can get my screen dropping out. You can see where the market did come back down and it retraced. Well, it retraced there and it retraced down to there as well. And I'm trying to find wave 2, but with wave 2 I need to make sure that there's those corrective waves in there as well, A, B and C. Okay, and then once I've established A, B and C, C will then be my wave 2 point. Okay, and then I looked at my Fibonacci tool and I figured, okay, my wave 2 is going to be around about here, but it ended up to coming down to around about there, so I figured that was being my wave 2. These numbers here don't have to be necessarily perfect. This actually should be like wave 0, that should be wave 1, this could be like wave 2, this could be wave 3, 4 and 5, and I looked at that and I figured, no, that can't be right because it's too small. So I've just basically tried my best to fit that in, to fit 5 waves in. Alright, so yeah, I've basically put these ones a little bit the long way around. Wave 3 should be basically somewhere up here. Wave 2 should be basically down here. Wave 1, oops, wave 1 should be around about there. That actually looks better. Alright, hang on, let's move that over down. Let's say down to alright. Okay, so we've also got to be careful as well that wave 4 doesn't fall into like the price territory of wave 1. So wave 4, see, this is where it gets a little bit complicated because you don't know where to put all your points because the formation hasn't really developed yet. But as I go along, I might have to change these points around, but for the best part, I have tried my best to try and start it from this area. And from what I can tell, when I'm actually using my Fibonacci tool, here is like the 61.8. I put in my wave 2 in here, and then I figured, right, okay, so based according to these rules, what I've done is that I've calculated the distance between here and there, and I've added to it. Okay, so this distance from here to to wave 1 is 315 pips. Okay, so then what I've done is try to project where wave 3 would be in the future. Okay, so I've gone from here and I've basically wanted to put in 315 pips, which is right there. I did have I did have my wave 3 at that particular point, but when that market reached that high, I had to move my wave 3 up a little bit higher. Okay, but you're not going to get exact. I'm on there anyway, but here's to show you here from this distance to here. It's basically well, it was pretty close. I think it was 315 pips, right? There we go. So 315 pips. So let's go ahead and get our calculator out and type in 315 pips. And okay, let's work out what the retracement would be. So okay, so times 161.8. So what I would need to do here is actually plus 61.8% equals 509. So 509 from point 2 should be about 509, but this actually zoops up to around about 640 pips. Right, the only reason why is that because this point here at 61.8 was extended a little bit lower. So if we went from maybe this point to there, we get 589. What was our thing? 590, because that's this point 3 actually moved up higher than what it should have done. So if we actually measured from here to there, which was 315, wave 0 to 1 will be the same distance from here to that wave 3. So 315 points would be around about there. So I can go ahead and sort of get my projection out from this 61.8 to that line, and it's pretty close. You can see it's 512. So I know that I'm doing my calculations correctly, okay, even though I can't actually position these in the area that I really needed to position them in. It gets quite confusing, because you think, like, for the most part, you go, okay, well, there's wave 1 and there's wave 2, and then you go, oh, well, there's wave 3, and then when you want to go and put wave 4 in, you can't really put wave 4 in because it goes into the price territory of wave 1, so it gets a little bit confusing. So I've basically left that alone. I didn't want to delve into it too much and bust my brains over it, because there's some other areas that I can still work out how I can plot my wave 3s and wave 4s and wave 5s, and in my corrective waves A, B and C's as well. Okay. So yeah, so essentially, once the market comes back down here, this actually came down a little bit further than it should have done. The Fibonacci tool from here down to there. Oh, let's just take it from wave down to here. I believe this. Actually, I can't see anything there. I'm going to have to move those out of the way. There's my Fibo. Let's delete that one. And let's delete that one. Okay, and then I'm going to get me Fibo tool out. I'm going to take. Okay, here is the 38.2 retracement, and I was expecting wave 4 to be there, but it extended down to the 50 area, which is still fine because wave 4 never fell into the price territory of wave 1. So once I drew wave 1 and wave 2 out, and when wave 3 was formed, I know that my wave 1 is in the right place because wave 4 never went into the price territory of wave 1. And plus, this came down to approximately 61.8% that we was looking for, which was the reversal that we was intending to see anyway. And then I basically calculated 161.8% from this distance to that distance, and then added it from wave 2 projection. So I've taken this distance to here, calculated 61.8, put my marker in, and then to try and work out what wave 3 was, I've basically taken this distance to this distance and then added it to this one here to give me wave 3. And then when I found my wave 3 point, I've then come back down and I've calculated whatever that was, and I've divided that into 38.2, and it's given me this area here, and that's where I've basically put my wave 4 point. And then from my wave 4 point, I've calculated from this wave 3 area to find out where my wave 5 is going to be. So what I've basically done is I've taken whatever this calculation is from this low to this high that formed wave 1. If that was, well, this one's actually 315 pips, right? So from here should actually be 315 pips also. Alright, because this distance from here to there should be the 1.00, which should also equal this one over here. Alright. Alright, okay. So this is what basically all it really entails. And once you hit the wave 5, okay, these here, I mean, these like super waves, alright, and these are like smaller waves within waves. Okay, so when you want to try and find these, you will see like there will be like corrective waves in them, and there will be some impulse waves inside impulse waves. Alright, and then we found that there's what wave 1, wave 2, and I put wave 3 right at the top here, and then wave 4 down to there. Now wave 4 should have been basically down to here. So I'm not sure whether this wave 5 is actually in its right place at the moment. It could mean that this might go back up, and wave 5 might be a little bit further up, so I have to wait until into the Monday to see if I'm right, and basically move my points wherever I need to move them. Okay. Now what's also good as well, from this you can work out whether or not that your points are actually in the right place. This is actually point A. Now point B should actually be around about I believe it's about 38.2%, I believe it is, from whatever this move is. So if I can take my Fibonacci tool out, and I'm going to get me Fibonacci from here down to wave A, I need to calculate 38%, which is around about here, and this area right there could be my wave B, and then from my wave B needs to line up to form a wave C, which C should be down here. Okay, and then we start off again to form like a wave one. Wave one will actually extend wave B. Okay, and if it doesn't extend wave B, then you know that all of this information here is wrong. Okay, so it's a bit of a headache, and it takes a lot of practice, and I don't have the time to actually sit there and trade it full time because I don't want to lose money. Alright, so that's why I've taken, I normally use this on a demo account and see if I can actually get them right. I'm right for the most part. I do get it, perfect sometimes, and it gives you goosebumps thinking that, oh, you've just successfully worked out what Elliot wave analysis is, and then you bump into something else that you didn't kind of work out why it didn't do what it's supposed to have done, and you're like, oh dear, okay, now I've got to go back and do it all again. So it gets a bit tiring. So I won't sort of really expect you to sort of really understand Elliott wave analysis to its fullest degree. It is a bit of a headache. You can actually go to elliottwave.com, alright, and sign up for their 7-day free access. Alright, I've actually taken all of their pages and saved it. Alright, I've actually copied it to my hard drive. So that's probably something that you could probably do as well. Alright, so Elliott wave analysis, for the most part, what I've explained here, I will be explaining some more Elliott wave analysis in the live trade examples when we do these trade setups, and I'll mention all the different kind of things that go through my mind, and I'll be going like, okay, well, what if I can use a pitchfork here, or what if I can actually use a median line or a trigger line, or whether I can use a bit of Elliott wave analysis, or whether I can use the esquidence, or whatever it is that I've got in my mind, different kind of strategies to work out what the market will do. And if I get some conflictions, in the results that come back, then I'm going to reset my mind and find another way of actually working out where the market will go towards. Alright, so I know that was a bit of a mouthful there to actually learn, but as I say, the basic rules that you would really need to understand, okay, again, and I will repeat these one more time before we end the video. Okay, wave 3, okay, wave 3 is here. Alright, wave 3, okay, needs to be 161.8%. Oops, 618. Let's just take that off again, just make this a little bit neater. Wave 3 needs to be 1.618 times wave 1. Okay, so whatever that distance is from that low to that high, you just calculate it by just timesing it by 1.618, which should actually give you the wave 3 projection. Okay, wave 5. Wave 5 is equal to wave 1. So whatever that distance is to this distance will be from this point to that point. Okay, and wave 2, okay, wave 2 down here, alright, will always, well, for the most part, will be a retracement of 61.8% of wave 1. Alright, so if this went up 100 pips, then you expect wave 2 to form at around about 61.8 pips lower. Alright, and wave 4, must never bite into the price territory of wave 1. Okay, now the rules, the wave, what we've just discussed are the principles, but the rules are wave 2, as I say, can oh, sorry, beg your pardon, I should step back here. Wave 4 should, although wave 4 should never extend into price territory 4, that I should have actually explained that wave 4 should be approximately 38.2% of wave 3. Alright, so you would calculate the area from down here to there, and you calculate 38.2% retracement. Right, so you get your Fibonacci tool out. I calculated it to be around about here somewhere, I believe it was, but the wave 4 extended down to there. Okay, so it gives you an approximate idea. So once you've realised that wave 3 has been formed, you can then go and calculate, the distance from here to there, and then put your your TP target in at where wave 4 would be, and then you put in like maybe a buy stop order, all right, and then go ahead and do it from wave 4 and put in a projection of whatever the 100% is from of wave 1. You add it from your projection of wave 3, which will give it to you up here. Alright, and that will give you your projection for wave 5, and then from wave 5 you just calculate a 61 from here to there, calculate 61.8% to get wave A, and then once you've found these two here, you calculate 38.2% to find wave B. Okay, and then once you've found wave B, you want to come down and look at wave 4, and wave C will be around about where wave 4 ends up. Alright, and then you can calculate that, and then from where wave C is, wave 1 will then begin. Okay, so this area here could actually be wave C. Alright, and that could have been wave B, that could have been wave A, and this could have been wave 5, and these could have been impulse waves as well, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it's basically there's some waves in there, the extended waves. You normally have like 5 waves inside a wave. Correctional waves, you'll have 3. Alright, so when you get to point C, you want to find where point A is, and if for instance that the market goes up and hits here and then comes back down again, then you know that all of this analysis is basically a little bit messed up, even though it might have worked for you for the most part. Alright, so when it does break here, okay, you've now realized that the wave is starting again. Alright, so then you wait for it to stop and then you recalculate things again. It's a bit interesting. I mean, if you want to sit there and go through it all, and if you like crunching numbers and stuff like that, but it is probably a little bit too advanced for the average person, really, if I can be honest. You'll need to understand all the basic principles of trading first before you can really get into Elliott wave analysis, but I figured I'd throw it into the mix anyway to see if you can actually work from what I'm actually showing you. I know my examples won't be the best. I am still learning with Elliott wave analysis, but for the most part it does give me goosebumps when I get it right. Okay, so yeah, I will give you this video to study through, and there's plenty of resources online. As I say, you can also go to elliottwave.com as well, and they will just basically overwhelm you with all of the information that they know about Elliott wave analysis. Alright, so I will leave you with this video, and I will see you very soon in the next one. Bye for now.